Turn up one time for the vibe. Turn up two times for the ride. Double tap that screen one time. Cause you're listening to the Vibe.
We're not starting the show every time with this. We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Making sure, she said 3, 2.
No, we're not starting the show every. This is not iCarly.
This is I Gnarly.
I don't like that one either. Nope, don't like that one either.
I Vibe Farley.
You know, you were on it when you said I vibe, and then Farley, you missed me. You missed me. I'm sorry, you missed me.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Vibe5 Podcast.
What's up? My name is Brian. Y'all already know who I am.
And I am the resilient rapper, but to those that know me, you just call me Deshaun.
I mean, we should call you the resilient Deshaun.
Deshaun. Or the resilient rapper.
The resilient Sean.
The resilient rapper or Deshaun.
Did you know that day, D-E, is like of or the? So technically you're the Sean.
Right, I knew that from the beginning.
So you're not just Sean. You're not just the Sean. You're the Sean.
I am the Sean. Whenever people come up to me, like I remember I told this to this one lady. She was obviously on drugs, walking down the street, and she was like, "What is your name?" And I was like, "Deshaun." She was like, "It's like the Sean. It's like you're God or something." And I was like, "Okay." It just got weird.
You know, I wouldn't call you, that, but
I wouldn't say I was God either. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there are just some things that I won't be able to do justice to.
The Sean.
The Sean. David, go away.
That's so funny. Why are you knocking on the door? All right, so today's episode is brought to you by
Water. Hydrate.
Hydrationation.
Hydrate yourself. It's summer, and you need to get that hydration fixation in.
Yeah. And a baby in the background.
That is the son, the oldest son of the Sean.
Of the Sean.
That is crazy. That's what we're gonna call him, Brian Lee Anthony.
But my name's not Lee Anthony. There's no.
We're gonna call you. You know what? We're gonna call you Brewis.
No, I don't like that one either.
Brewis Brewer.
See, even your son is saying no.
Brewis. He's saying no because he's not getting his way.
Hear him.
He's saying, hey!
Uh-oh. Well, on this
We're gonna call you Brewis Brewer.
No.
Brewis, indeed.
No.
Right, Brewis.
No.
Brewis Brewer.
Are we recording?
We should be.
We are not.
Not recording.
All right, well, we're recording now. Welcome back to Vibe5 Radio. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, Brian. Y'all already know who I am.
And I am the resilient rapper with a baby that is supposed to be on the other side of the camera. Sir, listen, we can hang out after the pod. You need to go back to your mother.
He said, I want to hang out, too.
That is not what you're going to do. That is not what you're going to do. You about to have to go pick your kid up from school.
This is true. So, since you brought it up, I'm going to bring up a very serious topic. And that topic is having to drop your kid off at school is the hardest thing. It's like the hardest thing ever.
I don't really think it's that hard. I think that y'all, I just personally believe that when you spend a lot of time with, your kid, like y'all do, y'all don't let nobody watch Simone that often, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all spend a lot of time with Simone, so when Simone goes somewhere, of course, it was going to be probably heart-wrenching for y'all.
It was so hard.
But then y'all said that they let y'all live stream the classroom.
Let me tell you something.
So,
that's the worst thing that they could have ever done. Because, see,
I think it's the worst thing ever, too. I'm like, because we didn't get live stream.
I've been tapping in, and I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I just... Oh.
Dave's going to get his hide tanned.
Oh, man.
Indeed.
On live television.
It's not gonna be live. It's gonna be up close and personal. So y'all can't. It's not gonna be closed caption. So y'all can't say nothing to me. Remember last week we already talked about discipline children. It's time for the rod to drive the foolishness out of the heart of that child. But yes, I think that, and we spend a lot of time with David too. However, I am never turning down the opportunity to let him go with the people. Just a few people that we have granted access to get David, full on. They just have him. Mostly Kendra's parents get him. His godparents get him, and really just navigating that because now, David has to learn boundaries.
Yeah.
And so y'all sending someone off to school, which of course you're gonna learn a lot. Which I'm pretty sure you and Lauren are probably a wreck from the first day of live streaming.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I didn't think that I was going to be anywhere near this emotional until I put up the live stream because they send updates. So when they send the update, it says, "Hey, your kid has been tagged in whatever." So it pops up and she's playing in like the circle with the blocks or whatever. But when I'm looking at her, like, it looks like she's crying. So I pull up the live stream, girl is crying. So then, okay, well, I'm like, oh man, she's crying. I'm pretty sure she just wants mommy and daddy. Okay, cool. Leave. I come back for whatever reason because it just, like, my heart was just drawn to click on the button.
Really?
So then I go back and I'm like, oh, she's still crying, you guys.
Your heart was drawn to come back to the live stream, okay.
And then I could not stop watching. And then I was dealing with something else. So then handling that and then going back to that. And I was just like, so then all the emotions were just running high. And I
really think, like, you and Lauren, like I said on Instagram, y'all need a TV show. And I just believe that. See, this is why I miss the old days. Because you got to update at the end of the day. Stuff that happened. You didn't have no access to look at the camera. I'm sitting there looking at this man, looking on his phone. Look at it. My baby.
Because, okay, so wait. In my defense.
I don't want to hear
In my defense, so she had been crying for most of the afternoon, and I was watching, and I was like, maybe it was because she wanted it to go back outside, because I know how she is. When she comes back in from playing outside, she don't want to come back. She cries, hollers, kicks, and screams. I was like, okay, maybe that's what's going on. But then I see her, like, they all are gathered around, like, all the kids, it's like 16 of them. All the kids are gathered around, and they're sitting around, like, reading and playing with the teacher, and they're, like, in the group. And she goes and gets a book by herself and goes sit down on the couch by herself. And I'm like, hey, why is that kid right there by herself? And then I realized, oh, that's my kid. And then she proceeds to lay down and go to sleep. In the middle of... Mind you, they're making all this noise. They have to have you making all this noise because you can see them doing this and all kind of stuff. So I'm like, they've got to be making a whole bunch of noise. But she's laying still. And I'm like, what's happening with my child?
The child is exhausted.
And then, to make it even worse, they give this nasty food. So then they give an update that says, hey, Simone didn't eat her lunch.
Tell them what she had for lunch.
They gave her pinto beans, broccoli, pineapples, and a breadstick. Who
food.
Eats that?
That is the food.
What are we doing?
Convict music.
What are we doing? Why are we feeding our children this? Pinto beans?
I mean...
I understand that's protein. I get it. But pinto beans? You fed my child pinto. No wonder she didn't want to eat.
I just think that the combination, and I was going to say you don't like the combination, but I don't like the combination. Because who puts pinto beans with broccoli and pineapples?
Who does it?
With a breadstick.
With a breadstick.
You know what I'm saying? See, when I was in school... like not to compare today's age to the age that I grew up in, but when I was in school.
When you were in school.
I'm talking about for lunch, we would have a piece of chicken with a roll and some green beans. And then if you wanted some fruit, you can get a fruit. And then, you'd have milk or apple juice. I'm pretty sure she would have eaten that. I don't know.
At least the chicken. They ain't give her no meat.
This is y'all fault.
How's our fault?
I'm just saying, like, the live stream, like, you wouldn't have, you wouldn't have known.
No, because I found out about the food because they sent an update that said, hey, your kid did not eat.
Your kid did not eat, but, that right there, that would have sparked me. I probably would have had to bring her some Chick-fil-A then, I bet you on the pickup, you're going to be something like, baby, what do you want to eat?
I'm not that nice of a parent, though. I'm not
really?
going to... I'm really not,
I bet she come back with some French fries.
Now she might come back with French fries because I probably do want French fries.
That's you finna. Brian is acting tough, ladies and gentlemen, but we all know what is going to happen.
It's my baby, though. It's my baby.
Exactly. You just sat there. I'm not that nice of a parent. Yes, you are.
Like it's one thing for her to cry because she's being her. Like, she's how she is. She can at times be disobedient and you're like, hey, no, stop it. I said no. There's those kind of cries. I'm like, I'm not paying attention to that cry. But then there's cries where like, I just want mommy because I don't like my environment right now. I don't know what's going on. And there's so many people that I have not seen my mom and my dad in so many years.
How y'all gonna get through this week? And is Simone gonna last as a student at this? Because I'm really thinking, I'm like, Lauren can't look at the live feed at
oh yeah, she's at work tore it up, y'all.
Brian is not being able to handle it. They are not going. Simone is not Lauren going.
I was so excited for her to go so I can get some sleep, y'all. I work at night. I do this. I do that. I am everywhere. I'm everywhere and nowhere all at the same time, and I just don't understand how I have the ability to be here right now. So therefore, I should have some sleep, but no.
You know why you don't have any sleep? Because you're live streaming.
It's not. She was crying.
He's watching the. It's not that. Listen, I understand she cried. I don't know what the solution is for her crying. I don't know what the teacher's solution is going to be. What I'm saying is for you all.
That's what I want to know.
You all are going to have a tough week this week, and I'm going to sit there.
I'm not going to allow you to speak that over my life today.
I'm not saying that's going to be tough
nope.
As far as like she's going to. I'm just saying like I for people that were very excited for their child to go to school, and then the first day happened. It leads me to believe that y'all week is gonna be tough because, like tonight, when you go to work and when you get off in the morning, and Simone has to go to school and Lauren has to go to work.
I don't want to go to school because I didn't like it yesterday. I'm like, oh, you just stay home with daddy. Just
go sleep with daddy. Like it's okay. We can just keep it out. Y'all literally trying to make it like it was, and I listen. This is your life. This is your child. This is your decision. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Y'all gonna have to do something. Y'all either gonna have to stop watching the updates, the live stream. They live streaming. Talking about man, streaming is taking over. You can watch anything. Come and watch me teach your child trigonometry. We live streaming at house school right now. God willing, ain't gonna be no more school shootings because there's too many cameras going on. In the classroom. Like you streaming me? Yeah, and we got you on camera. You ain't finna get that far. Yeah, we live streaming we live stream them changing classes.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's gonna be the Brewers have a tough choice ahead of them, ladies and gentlemen.
What is that choice?
They're going to have to decide whether or not they're going to continue letting their little.
Oh no, we're going to continue letting her go.
That's
not. She's going to be a student regardless. That's not the issue. I just didn't want to get a call saying, "Hey, come pick up your kid," because she would not shut up.
Apparently,
that's what I didn't want.
Apparently, you weren't going to get that call at all because apparently, she's a co-conspirator with whatever they're doing over there. It's just that it's not going the way that probably everybody saw it going.
And I think that.
She's probably overstimulated too.
That's what I'm thinking because she's not used to that many kids all in one setting. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And when she has been in those kind of settings, she's always playing. She's not in like a learning mode. Mm-hmm. So like now they're trying to get them to calm down and do stuff and this and that and third. So I think that might be an issue that she's having is she just is overstimulated by I don't understand what all of this is. And then to be honest, like, she's not, because she hasn't been around enough kids, it's not going to be all, smooth for her. Because also she sees mommy and daddy interact and stuff. She sees mommy and daddy, like, we're always working. Like, the one time that I was watching the live stream was when she was helping out and putting away the plates with for people that were done eating. She seemed like she was happy as a helper, helping the teacher throw away.
One of the things you did.
You see what I'm saying though? I
found joy as an old woman.
I understand who she is.
She's 79.
I was that way, so I understand. I get what's happening. Like when I was a kid in middle school and high school, I wasn't paying attention to what was going around in my surroundings. I was trying to figure out what the teachers were doing. I was trying to be a teacher. I was trying to do this. When I was in high school, I had 17 jobs. I mean, come on.
you know, and we can learn. This is a teachable moment right here.
Oh God, here we go.
We should not look at what others around us are doing. We should focus on what it is that we need to do. Because when we're trying to focus on what the teachers are doing, we are literally. I'm trying to be a teacher. Let me tell you something. You can be a teacher. Just wait your turn. Because if we the same age and you trying to say some stuff to me, and we both in the same classroom, that might result in either me cracking a really nasty joke or me slapping you. One of the two, you know what I'm saying? As a teenager.
I think, you know, well, she's not there.
You know what I'm saying? But for her being 4,
well,
she's very, and she's actually a young 4.
Yeah,
we don't know.
She just turned 4.
We don't know if she's the youngest in the class or not, but I'm just saying
that's
a
true,
bunch of fresh batch 4-year-olds that have been
true.
around a bunch of 4-year-olds.
That is also true. I didn't think about that.
A lot of these kids are exposed to other kids early.
Yeah.
You know, like mom, they have like that's a lot of stuff. Now they got all these groups.
And you know what? Also, so I'm now that you say that, because that's kind of like it's triggering stuff in my head now. Because now I'm thinking about it. They had a summer school program, but we didn't do the summer school program because she wasn't 4 yet. She couldn't be a part of it.
Mm.
So now that I'm thinking about it, she couldn't participate in all this stuff. So like some of those kids were probably already adapted to, you know, the other kids. So I mean that kind of makes sense too.
And then I think I felt really school is kind of like a social experiment, right? Because you know, you get to see how others are going to react to who you are as a person. You get to see how you're going to grow as a person. And, you know, you also get to see how others around you adapt and grow in that environment. Yeah. You know, you get to see how other people think. Where you're sitting there thinking about what the teachers are doing. I'm sitting there thinking about how I'm going to use the word that Miss Eidner just gave us in 10th grade to use it inappropriately. And so, you know,
we led 2 different lives.
It's just very much so. Just wanting to. I knew what my gifting was.
Let me tell you, in 10th grade, I remember like one of my teachers, Julius Thompson. I remember him very specifically because I used to like when I was done with classes. We were part of like the work study program. Sometimes we didn't always have to go to work, so sometimes I had a car, so I just would be around. Anyway, so I remember going to his class, and because everybody knew me at that time, I wasn't popular, but everybody just knew me. I would go in his class and borrow the iron and iron my clothes in his class before work.
That is crazy.
Like I lived a different life than everybody else.
Hey, listen. If you got your hustle on in 10th grade, do your thing. If you want to sit there and mess around, do your thing. We wasn't permitted to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, not that we was held back from doing it, because I did have a job when I was 16. However, it was more, I didn't have a car at 16. So I didn't have no reliable transportation to work. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have money.
Now, when I first started working, I didn't have a car.
Well, I'm pretty sure. But, there are things that led to you getting that car. I didn't get my first car until I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a different set of circumstances. However, you could tell I was very playful and very irresponsible for a very long time because I didn't have to be responsible. I lived at home. I could watch iCarly on Saturdays when it came on. You know what I'm saying? I could watch all this stuff.
I had that same luxury.
I mean, now you were working, so you should have had so don't come out here.
I had the same luxury. It just looked different.
It was not the same luxury.
It just looked different.
The things that you were sitting there thinking about, I was not thinking about. I was literally for the whole 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, from 2005 to 2008. Avatar: Last Airbender from 2007.
See, I was already past all that.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. I got to enjoy my teenage years as far as just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people, y'all had the car, y'all had the job, you got to go over to girls' houses and all that stuff. Who needs that at 16? Who needs that? Who needs that? You know what I'm saying? Like, who?
Apparently we needed that.
I didn't.
Well,
I was fine. It was almost like a culture shock to get involved with women and in my 20s because.
But you have also you also shared with us that you were slightly a nerd.
I don't care.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying
nerds want the same thing as the jocks and the band geeks.
But I'm just saying, like you've already expressed that was
the most important thing. Like I'm gonna start talking like Felice Johnson, anime, a Japanese cartoon. It's more important than food.
See,
it's more important than drinking water.
I was more important with. I didn't want to go to the store and have to ask my mom for nothing. That was my whole thing. I wanted to walk in. I wanted to walk in and pay my own way.
I want this. I want to go see this movie. Why am I going to take on a responsibility that I don't need right now?
Well, here's the thing. I see that's where the difference becomes because see those same things that you were like, oh well, I want to go. My parents were like, no, and I was like, well, if I got my own money, you can't tell me no.
I mean, that is true. However, if you say no, I remember one time I couldn't go to work. I was working at Texas Roadhouse. I couldn't go to work.
I wish they would have told me I couldn't go to work.
I couldn't go to work. I had to call the manager. I said, I can't go. Like, I'm in trouble. I can't go.
You see, and also I was never in trouble about anything.
It was like big trouble. It was just like my aunt. I forgot what was going on at that time, but she wasn't budging. I guess because we wasn't budging for doing something. I don't know, cleaning up chores, whatever. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, see chores and stuff. I was like,
Yeah, but you know, so there's a difference. So, and plus, we was always around kids. Like, first of all, I had a year, 3 months, and 6 days with my parents by myself. Mm-hmm. It was literally a year, 3 months, and 6 days before they brought my sister home. So I do not remember what it's like to be an only child.
That is also true. See, I was an only child, but see, you would think that the roles would be reversed though, because you think about somebody that's like, you think somebody that's an only child, they usually have that complex where I get everything that I want because all I gotta do is ask for it.
Oh, I didn't know. We didn't get everything we wanted.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying instead of it being like where I had to work for everything, I wouldn't in a plastic world. I wouldn't have had to do anything to get all the stuff. I did all those things because I wanted to prove the point that just because I'm an only child does not mean that I'm spoiled. Because for one thing, if anybody was gonna spoil me, I'm gonna spoil me.
I was a ward of the state till I wasn't a ward of the state no more. So, you know, I rode that thing on out, and then as we began to mature, so you know what I'm saying. Like I said, you can tell the difference in the social experiment that is school, what's important to people. My older brother, his most important thing was having sex. My friends, they all trying to scratch that itch. The itch is the sex.
Yeah.
And you got to scratch it. And, you know, that wasn't really my itch. You know, my jam was I just want to watch movies, I want to watch TV, I want to listen to music.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I loved it for me too. And then,
well, I'm saying that because I feel like had you gotten into that early on, like you probably would have been messed up. More than you know regular. Because you're already kind of crazy. You know?
Not as crazy as you, but I'm saying, but once I jumped into that, okay, now I want to have sex and I want to do this and I want to do that. Then life became much more complex.
But at an older age, your mind was a little bit more developed versus getting into it at an earlier age. Because when you get into stuff like that at an earlier 16, 17, when you get into stuff like that at an early age, your mind isn't quite developed yet. That's why it was a whole big thing when we were young about the whole 16 and pregnant thing. Yeah. Like when that came out, that was like, oh my gosh, it's almost like taboo. Yeah. Even though, you know, you go back, you know, to
hundreds of years.
Older days, you know, they was getting 13-year-olds pregnant. Anyway, but like it was a whole taboo thing. Yeah. But I mean, at that age, your brain is not completely developed. That's why I think we were talking about this the other day. We when it comes to like smoking and drinking, like, okay, and since we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and pivot. But like when we talking about the whole Nolan Wells thing, remember I was talking about how like it just doesn't make sense. They found out that he was drinking. First off, the dude was 18. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what happened, I'm not focusing anything on the death at this particular point. Mm-hmm. My mind right now is focused on why was he drinking
at 18.
At 18, your mind's not developed. There's a reason why they put a law that says, hey, do not drink until 21.
Yeah.
You can't purchase a drink until 21. And even with like buying tobacco or smoking, you can't smoke until like you're 18 or something.
I think
so,
now you can't buy to like a certain age group, because when we were 18 we could buy the tobacco products to smoke. Now I think it's 21.
Okay. So, like, there's a reason for all that, because that type of stuff does stuff to your brain.
Yeah.
It does stuff to your body that at a 16, 17, 18, and even some 19-year-olds, like, your body technically cannot handle it. And if you're a small, like, based off of the pictures that we saw from Nolan Wells, like, he was a skinny little thing. So, a little bit of alcohol is detrimental.
I mean,
so that was I never had a problem.
But how often was he drinking?
That's also a question.
So I will say, in my teenagers, we did get a hold of that Bacardi.
Dear God.
We did have some of that hunch punch.
Oh,
with
my.
nothing to hunch on.
Oh my.
But at the end of the day, well, I'll say I ain't had nothing to hunch on. I went home and dreamt dreams about being one of the greatest rappers in history. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But I will say that we don't know the frequency of the drinking, and we don't know really. I'm still kind of sort of trying to figure out what happened in that whole situation with, like, how did this thing happen? It's too many moving parts.
Way too many parts.
There used to be, I'm not going to say like murder was always simple, because, there's a whole bunch of complex murders in the history of our time as being human beings that we never figure out. That's why they got that show Cold Case. These cases go cold and people will never figure it out. People are ruthless. But, for teenagers, for like part of the stories, he stayed to talk to a girl. Okay. So, you're not, in my experience, you're not standing and talking to a girl unless you know that something could possibly go down. Especially, you're going to miss your ride to stay with the girl. Like, yeah.
But then also there's accounts where they said that he never actually made it over there. Mm-hmm. But there's pictures that show that he was over there. Mm-hmm. So it's like you said, there's too many moving parts.
Yeah.
But the issue, like I said, is not the fact that whoever did what, because apparently there are they've apparently arrested one of the kids that was there. Mm-hmm. I said kids, but I guess because I'm old now. But one of the friends that was there, apparently they arrested him because he was seen beating on the boy. But the issue, like I said, is not any of that. It's like, those are the issues.
Yeah,
those are the questions that
we're starting with the stuff that kind of like not that we're having this conversation. There are things that we need to talk about, like what sex does to you, because. Right. A shot of vagina at any age for any man, I don't care. Like, if it's your first shot, it is like crack cocaine. I'm not gonna lie. I've never done coke, never done crack. I would liken it to that, because the addiction that you have for it is very, very strong. It's like, you wired different after you eat that. You get that first shot. That first shot.
Which is why you have to be a certain age. That's why it's so important to understand. Like, you got to understand your body before you even get into the whole sex thing. But like with everything else, with sex, with alcohol, with tobacco and weed and drugs and this and everything that has an age limit, there's a purpose for it, an age limit. Like, why do you think that on the cars it tells you not to put a kid up front for a certain amount of age? I think it's like 13 and up is when you can actually put a kid in the front seat. Because the impact of if you were to get into an accident, the impact of that I've been in an accident. I've been in multiple.
Yeah, me too.
That that
airbag be hitting, boy.
It hits. And then on top of that, like I think that's probably one thing that they need to do a better explanation of as well. It's not just the impact, because when the airbag tears, like, there's a solution. I don't know if it's like dry solution, wet solution. I don't know what kind of solution it is, but
it should be crystallized in the air after you're done.
That, and like, so when I got into one of my accidents, like, I had on this really nice, like, leather-ish kind of red jacket. Love that jacket down, right? So, and it was kind of cold when don't you start? It's almost like the Thriller jacket.
It was like, Lord will take away idols.
But like not Thriller.
To beat it.
Beat it.
You
But
don't deserve
I
to beat
had the jacket, and then like when I got to the accident, like I remember looking at my jacket once I got into the hospital, and they were trying to like get the jacket off of me. Like there was like this long line of like just rips and tears, and it was like dissolving as if it was like it was being burned or like acid, yeah. And I was like, "What is the problem?" And one of the doctors said that's what happens when the material or the substance that's in the airbags hits certain materials. And I was like, "Bruh, this could have been my body. Like this could have been my skin." That's why there's an age limit.
And, and even when you say that, like even when you get past 25, that's when your car insurance goes down. Exactly. Like I didn't get my first vehicle until I was like, I might have been 24. I got to my first accident when I was 24, and because I was in that accident, I didn't have no insurance that whole next year. I really didn't drive like that. But the following year, I turned 25, and when I finally was able to get my own vehicle, my insurance was low with an accident on there. Even though I proceeded to have another accident after that. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, just things in time make sense. Like certain people, like a lot of people, you really shouldn't, no matter how mature you think you are, you really should not get into situations that only adults should be into.
Absolutely.
I think we've been very irresponsible with sex. We've been very irresponsible with teaching about it.
I think we've been irresponsible in teaching, period. Like
let's
let's talk about the education system in general, because there are some things that I found out and I learned in actual books and stuff that's actually written down that are not written down in your history books. Like I have a problem with that, because as somebody that is of the black culture, I should know certain things about my culture based on what's being taught in the history books. But in the history books, there's only a certain amount of information that's been given. So then you're like, wait a minute, this said this, but this actually happened.
Well, it's the same thing with the Bible.
Exactly.
It's only, we have the canonical, and a lot of times we don't know the full reason why we don't have canonical, but it's because the person that put the Bible in place as the Bible, not King James, the next human being that put the Bible into place, said that he really didn't want government to be, God to be over government, pretty much, essentially. Wow. He wanted to still have free reign to do what he wanted to do. And a lot of those other books shows God, even though the books of the Bible that we have still shows God's supremacy over government. Mm-hmm. Other 22 shows some real life God things happening.
That's a discussion for a whole nother.
Yeah, we'd have to.
I honestly, like, they were talking about recovering some of the
Dead Sea Scrolls,
the books from Ethiopia, the original Bible from Ethiopia, and there's some part of me that wants to read it, because I'm just like, because like some of the stuff that they like put on social media, and some of the stuff that they put out there, that kind of like they were kind of doing like a compare and contrast to certain parts of the Bible, where like one of them is the Ethiopian Bible, and then one of them talks about the same thing and the it is just, I'm really curious to see what's in there.
It might be on Amazon this week,
because that might be a good read. But yes, like that when it comes to even, like you said, the Bible, you talk about education, we've been failed, as there is a TikTok, I think, or an Instagram reel, I don't know, it was some video on social media where somebody is in the pulpit and they're preaching, and they are saying that America is the problem. And yes. Well, of course, but
yes, I wholeheartedly.
But I think what, like, the context in which they were talking about is like why certain things are so watered down, and why certain things are just so, there's such a big gap in between what's real and what's fake, and because it's such a big gap, we don't really know what's real and what's fake anymore, because the line isn't there. And it's just like all the stuff that he was saying, it was like, it's kind of interesting that you said that. And I just think that we've got to get to a place when we're not taking all of what we see as the value price. Because just because it says that it costs $55, sometimes there are hidden fees.
I think that one of the things that, and I'm going off of value price, has been oversaturated in American church is the wealth portion of it.
Oh.
And I'm not saying, because there have been wealthy people in the Bible. Of course, there are wealthy people today. It's not about being wealthy. It's about living exactly how the Bible tells you to live. Because, you know, if you love your life, you'll lose it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that, like, you know, you'll give up all your wealth. However, it might be repurposed. It might look a little bit different than what you're accustomed to it looking like. But as somebody who has been taught and as somebody who teaches, I think it's very, very instrumental that we get back to a place where we actually do the job of being teachers, not just preachers. And I think that we have a smooth a smooth transition, man, because one of the ultimate goals for me personally is to go to other countries and see how they worship God. Not Buddha, I'm talking about like the true and living God. I want to feel what that experience is like, you know what I'm saying? I love gospel music over here. I love some contemporary Christian music over here too. I just think that, what does that sound like in Africa? What does it sound like in Asia?
Right.
What does it sound like in Europe? You know, what does it sound like to experience just, you know, those encounters that we talk about bringing when we do an event? What does that sound and feel like in another country?
Well, and to that point, it's always going to look different in a place to where they don't have all of the.
20 more minutes.
Thank you for bearing with us during our brief intermission. I forgot what I was talking about.
You were talking about that looks different in a country without all the distractions.
Yeah, it does. It looks different with you having, so like, okay, we have all of the social media, which is one whole conglomerate, but then you also have TV, and you also have your whatever's going on at work and jobs, and like the work and jobs here look completely different because there's so much technology, and there's so much access to so many different things. So you have very much so many more distractions, and then when you get down to some place that maybe like in Africa or, you know, Ethiopia, or well, Africa, Ethiopia, but you know, some other place that doesn't have those resources, that tangibility to all this.
Not just that, but the freedom.
Right. We have so much freedom.
We have the freedom of assembly.
Which is so ironic that we have all this freedom, but we are still bound.
But what are we bound by?
We're bound by everything here. Like let's now. Okay, I was trying not to go here because you already know I'm very heated at the moment about some things. Okay. But we're so bound by the legal system. Okay. When I'm just putting it on the table. So okay, like when somebody is going to court for a divorce or for getting some kind of, you know, child support or something, like it's always in favor of the woman or the mom.
Oh Lord.
But my thing is this: it doesn't always have to be that way. It doesn't. It really does not. And I think that we have to like take a better accountability, and the judges need to take better accountability, and even the jurors, they need to take better accountability, because there are some things that just should not be allowed. One specific thing.
I'm about to say, is there a specific example?
You already know that there's a specific example. So there are two famous people that that the world loves.
Well, I don't know if they're loved, but
well,
they are. Well, I would say the industry that one of the people are in loves her dearly.
Absolutely.
And I would say that the sports world embraces the other individual in that situation.
Amen.
Especially in the sport that, you know, the sport that I love, because it's the sport that I love.
But this particular couple, ex-couple.
They've uncoupled.
They have uncoupled. They were married, and one of them created a act of infidelity, which I understand. Hey, you were wrong. You deserve to either fix it, figure out a way to fix it, or if y'all just are not going to move forward, you just don't move forward. But my thing about the whole situation is,
what is your thing?
The situation was not fairly distributed as far as what was being. Now, mind you, I can only go by what the tabloids and what the media has put out, but according to, reports and according to the divorce documents, because of course divorce documents are public, according to all that, like, this young lady,
indeed,
who has been in Madea movies, who has dance career, who has singing career, which I don't believe her singing career.
Her name is Teyana Taylor, because we're doing Teyana Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, and Iman Shumpert.
So my thing is this. According to the tabloids and according to all of the stuff that's out here, she got $10 million in cash and assets. She got another $10 million in cash. She got almost $10 million worth of 4 homes. She got 3 or 4 cars. And on top of that, she's being paid $8,000 a month for child support. Why is that fair? When that leaves him with like less than $10 million. To do. Now, mind you, I understand. I think it's less than $10 million.
Because
now where he's at now,
we don't know what his biggest NBA contract was.
That's true, but at that time, that left him with about $10 million.
Okay.
So my thing is this: I get, hey, you got money, it's millions of dollars, cool, bet, understood. The thing is, why did you take that much? And why? Because here's the thing: on top of all that, he still has to cover the cost for school for the kids, and that means that shoes, clothes for back to school, books, supplies. If they're in a special type of program, he got to pay for that. If they're in a special type of school, then he got to pay for that. And I already know that if they're probably not going to public school, so if they're going to private school is expensive. I went to private school. I know it's expensive.
I didn't go to private school. I was a part of the public school system. Shout out to Orange County Public School.
I mean, I was a part of the public school system after.
I mean, yeah, but still.
But the thing is, we live in a injustice where it does not make sense. It should not make sense, and we need to correct it.
Well, I will say this about what you just said. When we go into things unequally yoked.
Okay.
Because maybe they were yoked equally in the sphere that they were in. But they were not yoked. The marriage was not a 3-strand cord. There was no abiding.
Well,
just like our country does not abide by the one nation under God. Because if you are a believer and you're sitting there and you read it and you say we're one nation under God, and then you see just the outpouring of, because remember the First Amendment of the Constitution is freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion. So we're one nation under God. However, we run our country through whatever we believe at the moment.
Oh yeah.
So we talk about unequal, or we talk about yoking biblically, as far as like joining together as 2 oxes. The big ox pulling the brunt of it, which is we're yoked by the Lord. The Lord is the big ox. We always the little ox. Make no mistake.
Amen.
And so when you are the little ox and you and your wife are coming together, we are essentially saying that we're going to do this work. I'm going to pull the brunt of it because I'm stronger. However, you do a lot for me because just by being here. I don't think that that's the realm that they were dwelling in as far
Absolutely.
as, because,
couldn't be.
I think the best kinds of splits are the amicable splits where, you know what I'm saying, not based off a prenup, but because, hey, this is who you were before I came, and this is who I was before I came here. We need to go if we're going to go our separate ways, and I don't ever advocate, you know what I'm saying? I'm not advocating for people to just, start breaking up or whatever.
Right.
There just needs to be an understanding. Or, just...
An understanding.
I mean, but we don't understand anymore. We don't have the capacity to understand anymore. Because, like, you literally were on a live stream. You're watching the classroom.
We don't have to go back.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying you wanted to have an understanding of what was going on with her. However, like when I was getting picked up from pre-K, it was so we had apple juice today. Mm-hmm. He probably peed his pants.
Oh.
Well, no, he didn't. Get on the potty train by the time I got there. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
we can move forward.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's just the fact that we don't have. When we walk into something, we are agreed. We are equally yoked in this doing of this podcast.
Uh-huh.
So it can be an amicable split. It's not like, let's split. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this cat. Like, no, everything that the Vibe 5 is yours. I don't have nothing to do with that because that was yours before I got here.
But didn't you say earlier that you...
No, I do get 1.5.
No.
Because
now
I helped it.
Now you're contradicting yourself.
No. I said for... wait. There are caveats in this. This is real. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. 1.5. That comes from that. Half of that is me. Half of that is me.
I think that we should let the listeners and
regardless of what the listeners and the viewers will understand when they see. They're gonna be like, what? That young brother right there. To the what side of the screen am I? Do I?
The right side.
That young brother with I came to offend you shirt on. He got some cooking over there. They be cooking over there at the 5-5 that young fella.
So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to revisit this.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to come back and we're gonna have to expound on these things. But in the meantime, here's what I really got. But I can't even talk. Here's what I really want you guys to do. I want y'all to give us some kind of questions, some kind of feedback, some kind of something, so we can put it in our box. That way we can have questions to talk about when we get on the podcast. Because we want to hear what y'all talk about and what y'all think about. Because tell me for real. Like, should Teyana Taylor have really gotten all that money?
She should not have gotten all the money.
So I'm just saying, if y'all got an opposing thought or opinion, then you should put it in the box. So Send it to us in a DM at Vibe5ENT or at Vibe5 Radio, or send it to one of us. I am Brian L. Brewer.
At the Resilient Rapper.
And we'll see y'all in the next go round. We're gonna have to give y'all another version of this episode because he wanted to talk more.
And actually, he wanted to talk more. He has to go pick up Simone. So Simone, we love you, and Daddy's coming to get you.
Daddy's coming to get you.